Hi YouTube, I'm Matt Padlow, and today behind me we got a TV that we got from Elena's parents. It was an awesome surprise and an awesome gift for Christmas for us to put in our new house in our living room on this big wall, just calling for a TV. It was actually Tom's idea, Elena's dad, to put the TV on the wall, and I liked it a lot, and that ended up being the wall that it's going to go on. It makes the most sense because right where you are watching me is where the couch is, so perfect viewing for the television. It's a 55-inch TV, it's a 4K Ultra HD, and it's a Hisense Roku. We like Rokus, Elena and I, because they're easy to set up. You can just plug it in and pretty much go. Our other little TV upstairs is a Roku as well, and Hisense has been a good TV for us, so why not just get the newest edition, which they got the 6 series for us, which was awesome. We thought the best we could get maybe was a 5, so they even went above and beyond for us. So anyway, I'm just going to take you through installing this today. I do not have a stud finder, so we'll see how I can do finding a stud to hang this on. Elena's brother got us the mount to hold the TV up on the wall, so they basically gave us everything we need. It's just up to us to install it. So come along with me, and maybe if you are installing a TV and you're quite not sure how to do it, this will help you today. So I know that since this is the end of the wall, there's probably a stud here. And studs are usually 16-inch on center. And this kind of makes sense because if the stud was here, which that would be 16 inches right here, then they would nail this box holding this electrical box into the stud on a side mount. So that makes sense. So my theory makes sense along with that plug. So then we have another stud right here at 32. The tape measure could stay up. That would be awesome. 16 on center, so I'm going a little bit in from that side. 32 there, 48 here. 64 here. So now we kind of have an idea theoretically of where the stud should be on the wall. I'm just marking it with a little pencil, of course, because I want to be able to erase any marks. If you use a pen, that wouldn't be as easy to do. I don't even know where we got this knife, but we found a knife. This is Elena's knife. Why does Elena have secret knives in the house? That's going to be the question. Okay, before I tear this open, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is just a wall mount TV bracket. It should have good extension and angle turning on it, so we can get it dialed in for our angle that we want. It's pretty heavy. Yeah, so here it is. It can go out, it can turn side to side. It's about 16 inches center to center, which is good. So we'll find our 2 studs and we'll put it on that. So either like here or either like here.
One eternity later.
And we're back. Let's go ahead and talk about what I did while the camera was off. I went ahead and put the little brackets that are on the back of the TV that then clip onto the bracket that we're mounting on the wall on the back of the TV now. I based off the whole TV to 28 inches from here to here because I wanted it about above this light switch panel to be in the center. I wanted the bracket in the center of those 28 inches. Well, my plan was a little altered due to the fact that even slid all the way up to that last screw spot. It really wasn't in the center of the TV. So next time, if you're really particular about where you want the bottom of your TV, not only measure the width of the TV, but calculate how far towards the middle can those brackets actually be with the screw holes provided on the back of the TV, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's gonna hang a little bit lower than planned, but that is okay with both Elena and I. So we're just gonna head and move on forward because it isn't a big deal. Again, if you're more particular about where you want your TV to hang, then you're gonna have to make sure that you screw on the brackets on the back of your TV as close to center as possible, and then measure off that and then offset it from center as much as it's needed to have the bottom of the screen where you want it. So anyway, we measured the overall width of the screen, or height of the screen, I would say. From here to here is 28 inches. We marked about where we wanted it. I put the bracket holes right in the middle. I didn't have a stud finder, so I went ahead and I did measure the 16. It was about where I thought it was gonna be. The only difference is that they had a, there's a name for it, but you nail a little stubby stud next to the full length stud. So that threw me off a little bit. But overall, it's not actually that many holes in the wall, especially for not having a stud finder. And even with a stud finder, at least the ones that I have used, you're gonna sometimes put extra holes in your wall. It's just the name of the game. If you wanted to keep the holes even smaller, you'd get one of those screwdrivers with like a spike on it, and then you'd spike that into the wall to like poke the stud and find it, or a very skinny drill bit. I only am using what I have, so it's not an ideal setup, but anyway, I'm just rolling with what I have at the moment. Okay, so moving forward, we now have our top holes pilot drilled for our brackets. So let me go ahead and grab what I need, which is to put the driver head on my drill. I got this little kit from Harbor Freight of these hex head drivers. Very last size, 1/2 inch worked. It even has a little magnet on it. It's a nice one. This is what I'm gonna drive it into the stud with. We're gonna have Elena guest star over here and set this up on the wall for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this one, and then we're gonna stretch it as far over as possible. Okay, so before I tighten all the way down, you can see we have the 2 top ones on. I'm gonna double check the measurement from the floor up, the ceiling up. Ideally, you'd have a level to put on this thing, because who says the floor is level? Who says the ceiling is level? Our house is a new build, so I bet the floor is pretty dang level and we could just measure right off of it. That's how I marked the studs in the first place. But just to be sure, we're gonna just go ahead and pop a level on this thing with our phone, and we're gonna check that out, because not everybody is gonna have tools at their disposal, such as my situation right now. Being resourceful and saying, oh, I can find an app that can take the place of this tool can be pretty useful. Could you please install a phone level on your phone, please, real quick? So Elena found a cool little level on the Google Play Store, and we set it on there, and it looks like, oh, I set it on the screw. That doesn't help. Within 0.2 tolerance, I would say that is plenty good for a TV holder. Again, that was from me just measuring from the floor up, and I was a little off there when I was like poking around trying to find the stud. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm gonna finish tightening this thing down. And that was just the top holes. Let me go ahead and get the bottom holes now. And I'm gonna do that just by measuring across to match the center of the top hole. Just to clarify what I was doing, I just measured over from using that side wall as my starting point to measure to the center of the lags that I already have in the studs up above it, and I'm matching it on the holes below it to put my other lags in. This is an undersized pre-drill bit. Let me give you a little tip. When you're using threaded screws or bolts, yes, this is a concrete masonry bit, and no, I should be using a wood bit, but this is what I have. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here are the threads. You go ahead and you set that drill bit on top of your threaded screw or lag, and if you can see the threads peeking out from either side of that pre-drill bit, you know it's a good size. If you can't see the threads sticking out on either side of the pre-drill bit, then you know that it's too big and the threads won't grip into the stud and it'll wallow out and it won't fasten correctly. And you know, if it's smaller than the shaft, not the threads, the middle shaft's running through the screw or the lag, then it's going to be too small and the pre-drill is not doing its job. So it's a fine line. It's an easy thing just to hold up the pre-drill like that, and you see the little thread sticking out, and then you know that it's a pretty good size. Let me go ahead and pop this hex driver back in. Let me put a washer on this. All right, I give it the old wiggle test pull. Seems pretty secure on there, so I think it's ready for the TV. Let's go ahead and put the TV on, see how it looks. So this has like a 3-degree tilt or something on it. I went ahead and I loosened the tilt, and then once we get it where we want it, we can go ahead and tighten it down. I'm out here just tightening these little screws and putting a snug pressure. And this keeps it from not only flipping off of the bracket, but from sliding side to side. Okay, so this is how the TV is going to be when it's not in use. It's just gonna be flat up against the wall. It's out of the way. This is pretty streamlined up against the wall. And then when we wanna watch TV, we're just gonna pull it out probably, tilt it a bit so the whole couch can get a pretty good view of the TV, and boom, it's showtime. And thanks to how nice and strong the bracket was that they got for this TV rating weight-wise, it's really easy to pull in and out. It's no strain at all. The bracket doesn't strain whatsoever. And even though we're gonna do this from time to time, it won't be an issue. All right, so that is me showing you guys, if you don't know how to install a TV wall mount, whether you guys have just moved into a dorm for the first time and you're wanting to put a TV up, or you're bought your first house, or you're in your first rental and your landlord will let you do a wall mount TV. Hopefully this tutorial will help you. I'm not a pro carpenter or handyman, but I'm definitely very familiar with this type of work. For those who know, I'm a metal fabricator welder by day, and I've done this type of work forever. If you guys enjoyed this, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. It helps out Elena and I, and go ahead and give a subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.